Hello, and welcome to the People Often Suck podcast, where we talk about the suckiest suck that currently sucks. I'm your host, Tom.
And I'm TC.
And at the end of our episodes, we're going to share uplifting stories that will bring hope back into your heart. But for now, let's start off with our first story.
Well, starting off today, I have a little story from that wonderful state of Florida. Wow, we already get a laugh out of that one, I see.
No. You've got a Florida man story.
This will not involve... You're not really going to, are you? Oh, God. Oh,
Florida man.
God. Episode 5 goes downhill right from the beginning. Thank you. So this is a real
DC
estate...
hates fun.
Shut up. I do not hate fun. Okay, this is about a real estate agent who allegedly scammed an elderly couple out of $1.6 million of their property.
All at once?
Apparently, yes. So what this gentleman, let's see, what is his name? I'm trying to actually find it. But this real estate agent, Jason Valiant, 45-year-old, he was arrested and is facing multiple charges, according to Fox 35 Orlando. Basically, the authorities there are describing it as elaborate scam, in which this poor elderly couple lost their savings and property. I mean, that pretty much sucks.
It's also Florida, so maybe a blessing in disguise?
I don't know how you could say that's a blessing in disguise, but so basically what this guy did with how he pretty much robbed them of their property. Let's see, he $1.6 million total, drained their bank accounts and took their car. And then also there was credit card fraud that was involved as well. He paid for things like attorney fees, teeth whitening, car detailing, food and gas.
All important.
Certainly all important, but damn, really?
So when you say elderly, you mean like 60s, 70s, 80s?
Yes. I mean, well, first of all, it is the state of Florida. So what are the odds that you're going to find an elderly couple in the state of Florida? I mean, it is, Leisure World is literally at the border. When you go from one state into Florida, it says, "Welcome to Leisure World," also known as the state of Florida.
Yeah, it is U.S. law that all senior citizens are migrated to Florida.
Right, exactly. So basically what this Jason guy did, he basically got himself appointed as power of attorney and the healthcare surrogate of the Ormond Beach couple. Ormond, I guess that's the correct pronunciation of it, using fraudulent documents when they became sick and were hospitalized. Now, the sheriff there told the local broadcaster that a do not resuscitate order for one of the victims was signed. So that was nice of him to go ahead and decide that for one of the victims. But was and then later was removed from life support.
I mean, how does this guy creep into somebody's life like that?
That's an interesting point. So it all started when the couple hired Jason Valiant to sell the property. Okay, But instead of selling, he apparently provided the couple with fake low offers, including one from his own real estate company. So at some point, the couple became sick and were both hospitalized. Already the groundwork was being set for this lowlife to come in and do what he did.
Right.
Valiant, his last name, is accused of creating fraudulent documents that listed himself as the couple's healthcare surrogate and granted himself, of course, the power of attorney. So he took full legal ownership over every aspect of their lives at that point. Really sad. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about, if this older couple had kids or anything, but obviously this guy got a doozy of a couple to take over every aspect of their life.
I guess it's a numbers game. I mean, people like this that you just keep digging and digging until you finally hit gold.
Yeah. Well, It's unclear exactly how the couple in the story was exposed to this bad actors, but I would say that if you are somebody out there that has either elderly parents or you yourself are elderly, be very careful of what you are opening yourself up to, in the sense of these parasites in society that
I've got examples.
yeah, well, I mean, I told you, that I grew up in Sacramento, California, and one of the famous members of society up in Sacramento was Dorothy Puente. Anybody out there, welcome to go take a look at the Dorothy Puente story. In fact, there's a 2-part special on, I want to say, is it Peacock, that does a whole background story of this lovely grandmother from Sacramento, California. She lived in one of they call them the gingerbread houses, the ornate Victorian homes down in downtown Sacramento. And she would take in boarders that would rent out a room from her in the house. And I believe it was her son that was kind of the handyman there at the house. And what she would do is that over time, she would, once again, winning over these people to trust her, she would get power of attorney over them. So their Social Security checks coming in would come to her, and she would manage the money. And over time, these individuals ended up falling ill.
Mm-hmm.
Falling ill to the point that they would die.
Was she also a cook at some point?
This isn't the Sweeney Todd story now. No.
No. I was just referring that she would, in her generosity, would provide meals.
Oh, well, yes, if you're going to go down that path, yes. She took care of them, which was very nice of her. She's a sweet grandmother. Nobody would suspect a grandmother of doing something, right? So, yes, when the victims would one by one eventually die, there was no trace of their bodies.
Oh.
Until the next door neighbor at some point was wondering why the fence that separates the two properties began to lean in different directions.
Okay.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think one of the boarders had a son or a daughter or whatever it was. And so they inquired hey, where did Papa go? Because he's no longer corresponding back. He's no longer talking. And so eventually, there was questions about what was going on there. And when they finally started looking at the yard and the fence that, of course, was leaning over some and so forth, they began to dig up certain areas when they started to discover bodies. Now, this Dorothy Puente did not get tagged as the suspect because she's a sweet old grandmother lady. So the authorities were really trying to figure out the mystery as to, were these there for a long time? Was it, somebody else that was coming in and putting them, the bodies there or whatever? And eventually, over time, the head investigator there in Sacramento PD began to slowly suspect that maybe Dorothy had something to do with it.
When was this? 80s, 90s?
I want to say it was around 86, 87. So when the investigator started to suspect a little more, but nothing of concrete evidence to really, hey, Dorothy, we're going to now bring you in as a suspect. Dorothy was smart enough to realize, I think they're starting to maybe catch on. So where she lived in downtown Sacramento was not far from a major pedestrian street called K Street Mall. And there was a Hyatt Regency right there. And so she convinced this investigator guy that, gosh, she's had a rough morning or whatever. And, I'm going to go over and get some coffee and he ended up actually walking with her all the way over to the Hyatt Regency where she was going to go in and get some coffee and whatever. And he left her there and went back to the house as they were, digging more of the yard up. She went through the hotel to the valet to take a taxi to the Sacramento International Airport to hop on a flight to go to San Diego. When they finally discovered that truly Dorothy was behind all of this, they had to work on getting her extradited back up to Sacramento for these charges. And it just opened a whole can of worms for a lot of, her backstory and everything. And ultimately, she did get convicted, and she recently, just a few years ago, just died in prison. But she was the sweet old grandmother from Sacramento that opened up her home for these poor guys who could have been homeless guys on the street or just down and out and needed a place to stay, and they certainly found a place.
Well, my example wasn't quite as newsworthy. I was just going to say my grandmother got a phone call one day, and I think what these scammers do is they'll call. They won't say who they are. They'll wait until the elderly person on the other line says a name. So she picks up and it's like, oh my gosh, I need your help. And she thought it was one of my cousins.
Okay. Yep.
So she's like, Jason, is this you? It's like, yeah, it's Jason. You got to help me out. I'm in jail. I need you to send me bail money. And unfortunately, she did just that. She went to Walmart and wired. I don't even remember how much it was. I think it was a couple $1,000s. It was just, oh my gosh, Grandma, why didn't you call anybody else?
This is what happens to our elderly that easily get taken advantage of.
Well, and my father-in-law literally just happened right before Christmas. He went to Trader Joe's, and you know how older people, especially men, can get. It's like, I don't need help. Stubborn. I'm fine.
I don't need to ask anybody for directions. I know how to get there.
Right. Things like that. Well, he went to Trader Joe's by himself to get, I don't remember, something for dinner. And as soon as he parked and got out of his van, a woman approached him and said, "Oh, we have this tradition where, I stick a ring in your pocket and you stick your ring in your pocket and I don't know." It was like so bizarre.
So it's not Festivus like the rest of us.
Quite the opposite.
Okay.
Based on his description, she sounded like a gypsy.
Oh. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he even said, "Oh, I'm in a hurry." For whatever reason, he still kept talking to her and put his ring in his pocket like she said. And then at some point, she got the ring, his wedding ring.
No way. Really?
The ring he's been wearing for 53 years
is gone.
And we all, unfortunately, dogpiled on him like, what were you thinking? Why did you do that? Why didn't you just say, "No, sorry, no thank you, in a hurry, I'm busy, screw off," something.
"I'm on my way to get my Stouffer's frozen dinner."
Yeah, something, anything, but he can't.
Oh my gosh.
He is just, I don't want to say anything bad, but it's just,
of course not. It's frustrating
he's just
because
so easy to be taken advantage of because he wants to help people so badly, but he can't see that there are bad people out there. And the ones that he does come across, he just kind of brushes off that, oh, they'll get their comeuppance, in the end when they're judged. It's like, yeah, great, but how about now?
Yeah.
How about they get judged now so they don't do this to somebody else?
Exactly. This is why here we're giving 3 examples of literally POSs that scammed people out of property, monies, whatever. And in some cases, even involving, unfortunately, their lives. And this is where, yes, we can say to an older person, wise up and listen. But even for the siblings out there that have elderly parents, you got to watch out for them. You have to watch out for them because they do get to a point in their minds where they really do want to believe that generally people are good, at their core. And we all know that there's POSs out there. I mean, we're highlighting 3 of them just right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It sucks.
Well, people often do suck.
Hey, that's a catchy name.
Okay, well, I think we'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
And I think you have one, right?
Oh, I didn't come empty-handed.
I didn't think you did.
No. So you're going to like this one because it's also...
Oh, my gosh.
in Florida.
So this episode is dedicated to Florida, the state of Florida.
This is a very special
Make sure
Florida
you grab your Florida orange juice if you have it, and sip while you're enjoying this next story from yet again Florida. Go ahead, Tom.
All right, so this one may be not as convoluted as your real estate property theft story, but this is about Joseph Vaught, a young 23 Florida man. Well, he allegedly, I have to say allegedly because, he technically hasn't gone through the awesome justice system, even though the evidence is all there. He's already admitted it. So he allegedly shot his parents.
Oh.
I know. Who does that?
Well, the Mendez brothers. But anyways, that was another episode.
So he killed his father and wounded his mother.
Wow.
Why would he do such a thing? Well, I mean, for good reason.
So she didn't die.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. So he killed his father, tried to kill his mother because, well, Dad was getting on him for just playing video games all the time and not getting a job.
There's those things in life that we all have to eventually become responsible adults about. And one of them is get a damn job.
Well, especially at 23.
You're about 5 years beyond you should have had a job.
Yeah. So unless your job is professional gamer and you're actually making money off that, I can't imagine what your excuse could be that you're at 23 with no job. But then again, Florida.
Yeah.
So what happened was police were reported to the scene after Susan, the mom, called because she didn't die. She called the police around 11:20 p.m. on a Saturday. So when police got there, the dad, whose name was Marvin, he was dead in the driveway.
Oh, that's sad. So she now is without her husband.
Right. And soon to be son. Oh, she could visit. Although, why would you after this?
Well, I would have a hard justification to go see him at prison.
So cops get there. Dad is dead in the driveway. Clearly, he's been shot. They find the mom inside, basically bleeding from her wound on the couch. She managed to kind of crawl away, heave herself up. Son had bolted at this point.
So he's thinking both parents are dead.
Yeah, he assumed he killed him or, just shot her and figured
Did he think
once is
this
enough.
was a video game that, I can shoot them and it'll just go, I mean, you should have the sound effect. To bring them back to life? I mean...
I can find you a sound effect.
No, don't do that, please.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You hate fun.
I hate fun. Yes, thank you. Now I'm going to be known as the fun hater. But go ahead.
But no, she was shot in the head. That's the thing.
She was shot in the head and she survived that?
Now, we say head wound, but, technically Trump survived a head wound. So we don't know exactly the extent of where she was shot, but she was good enough to basically crawl, get herself on the couch, call the police. So she's good, but still would be better without having been shot.
Probably a little less messy.
So police put out a bolo and shut down roads and put up barricades.
So it was a manhunt.
So this happened at 11:20-ish on Saturday.
Okay.
They got him by 2 a.m. Sunday.
Good.
So just a few hours later.
Yep. Was he playing video games?
No, he No, he was trying to get somewhere because it was Orlando police that found him.
Okay.
They caught him at one of the traffic stops. So you would think, oh my gosh, it's so unhinged that he would just snap like that. Well, the signs were there that this was going to happen one day because he has a little bit of a criminal history.
Oh.
One of which was firing a weapon in a residential area and for battery. which I had to look that up.
And that's hitting, right? That's basically...
Not necessarily. It's a very vague charge. Basically, it's a criminal offense that involves intentionally touching another person without their consent, causing physical, emotional, or mental harm.
So when I touched your arm earlier today, did you feel that was battery?
Yes,
And,
I am
and that's
emotionally
why the police,
scarred.
Yeah, well, I could tell you're emotionally scarred, yes.
Yeah.
I hope you're able to get over that, too. I'll get you a drink later.
I mean, it's the least you can do.
Till I follow up.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This happened December 1st
Okay.
in 2024. He shot his parents not even 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Not
So-
sure why they didn't take the guns away or at least lock them up, but it cost the dad his life.
Wow. That is just sad.
Yeah.
And is there any residual, like, health problems for poor mom?
No, nothing regarding, like, she's alive. She's fine. I mean, other than the head wound, but nothing serious.
And did they say, is it just the 3 in the family?
Yeah.
So basically, 3 in the family as of earlier in December of 2024. And by Christmas of 2024, it's mom only.
Yeah. So currently he's being charged with murder and attempted murder. And, you know, he'll probably get his trial sometime in 2025. Who knows?
I just, why? And, you know, this is sad because this is not the only story that we've heard of where a parent has been killed or parents have been killed by one or two of the kids or whatever due to, name it, any list of items, you know, that has pushed these kids to do that. I mean, obviously this one was about not being able to play games and being pressure to go and get a job, which, you know, I'm sorry that you actually have to be held as a responsible adult. Like, get off your lazy ass and
Yeah.
go get a job. By the way, Disney was hiring. You could have probably gotten a job at Disney.
Exactly. The bar is so low, dude.
I mean, they'll hire anything with a heartbeat. So he could have gotten a job.
Literally. Put him in a monkey suit, have him sweep floors, something, man. Like,
Wow.
there's a place for everyone at Disney, honestly. There really is.
I mean, there probably shouldn't be. But anyways.
Yeah, there. Some people have been hired. It's like, oh, you could have screened him a little bit harder.
Yeah. Could you have at least turned the Zoom camera on to look at the person?
Yeah, nah, we don't do that here.
No, not at all. But that sucks. I mean, that's
because it's so senseless.
okay. So he lost his life, the father.
Yes,
Horrible, horrific.
right.
But it's the lingering aspects of what poor mom is now having to go through. She literally has just lost her immediate family.
Yeah.
Her husband's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And her son is going off to, you know, will go through the judicial system, should theoretically be found guilty, and will be in prison.
Yeah, her life has been turned upside down. It sucks. And it's for something so stupid as video games.
Well,
like I'm laughing, but it's so frustrating.
Must be a pretty damn good video game, right?
Oh, I kind of want to look into like which video game he's so upset. Like if this was something stupid as Fortnite, I'm going to lose it.
Well, I would hope that you would lose it regardless of whatever game, but
Well, I don't know. There's some good games out there.
but not to justify killing your father and attempting to kill your mother.
True. You got me there.
Well, this has been a thoroughly wonderful POS episode of highlighting Floridians. And with that, I hate you. I was trying to look for actually a positive story on my side from Florida so we can at least counterbalance it, but there's no positive side.
There's no positive.
I have no positive side.
So you're a fan of pizza, right?
It's one of my main staples, of course.
Yeah. Who doesn't like pizza?
Yes. In fact, that was my first meal when I came back from Hong Kong, Disneyland. I spent 3.5 months over in Hong Kong. And it was either Mexican food or pizza as my first meal back. And I love round table pizza, and that was my first meal.
I had Papa John's last night. Not proud of that.
Yeah, I don't know about
But-
Papa John's.
Well, neither do I, but it did
I mean,
the
even
trick.
Papa John's isn't part of it anymore. So
I know. Well, we were watching a YouTube video, and they said their breadsticks were like one of the best breadsticks.
Lies.
I kind of have to, yeah. I wasn't too impressed. I'm like, unless they got different breadsticks, I'm like, meh, it's fine.
Was this the Tasteless channel on YouTube?
No, it's Good Mythical Morning, and they're usually pretty spot on with things.
Yeah.
They did like a whole breadstick test, and they had all these different, like, it was a blind test.
Obviously not blind enough.
No. So I question everything now.
As you should. Okay,
Anyways.
your story. Yes.
So the story is about Dave Portnoy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You've heard of him, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. He's kind of been, in the media, whether good or bad.
Right. Wasn't he on Only Murders in the Building season 2?
No.
Or was that somebody else?
Someone else.
I thought it was him.
He's not an actor.
Not an actor?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting him confused with somebody else. Now I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Keep going.
I'm kind of wondering who you're talking about.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
No. So he's the founder and owner of Barstool Sports.
Okay, that's it. Yep.
Yeah. So, and for those who don't know, it's a sports journalism and pop culture and content related there with it, So anything sport related, that's what these guys kind of cover.
Okay.
All right. So he's best known for not just that, but also for rating pizzas.
I did not know that, really.
Yes.
He's a pizza connoisseur?
Yes. In fact, he considers himself the expert on pizza.
Okay.
So he, in all his travels, he makes it a point to visit as many local pizzerias as he can. So mom and pop shops, nothing corporate. He has done corporate just to say he's done it. So he's done the Domino's. He did the Little Caesar. Shocking, they don't rank very high.
Pizza, come on.
Yeah, no, he goes to the mom and pop places, and he has a thing where it's one bite. That's it. Like everything you need to know should be.
You either catch him on the one bite or you don't.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
And ironically, he never ever just has one bite.
Well, if it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's good, yeah, the slice is gone. But it's not just that, because this is a YouTube channel he does, one bite. They're only a few minutes at a time. And, if it's in your hometown, even better. He has an app. It's the One Bite app. And
oh, so that's really the name, One Bite.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I'll have to
And
check it out.
oh, yeah. I downloaded just to kind of get an idea like how people rate the surrounding pizzerias in my area. And let's just say I'm not in an area that has the greatest pizza options. It sucks.
Yeah, I would say your area does seem to be very light on pizza.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I make do, I guess. Yeah, I guess if you've never had better pizza, you don't know what you're missing.
You're sheltered.
Sure. That's a word for it. So, yeah, so he goes around, he has a slice of pizza, rates it from 1 to 10. And this basically can be it's like diners, drive-ins, and dives in a way.
Love that show.
Yeah, guy comes in, does a whole spiel,
Sure.
and then that place just blows up with popularity.
Right.
Same thing can happen with these pizzerias.
Okay.
You get a good score from Dave, that's it. You don't have to worry about business ever again. There have been numerous times where people said they were about ready to hang it up. They said it wasn't working for them. And they said after that score, business was booming, and it basically saved their business.
Wow.
And that's the point of why I'm bringing him up as a good person, because he literally goes around saving little mom and pop stores. During the pandemic, when everyone had to close down, he purposely opened up I don't want to call it a charity. It was kind of like a fund to help.
So almost like
Mom
a
and pops.
GoFundMe type
Almost,
of scenario,
yes.
but it was just earmarked for the mom and pops out there.
He managed to raise over $40 million.
Wow.
To help small businesses stay open, which they would not have.
Right.
So he saved.
I mean, the government certainly wasn't going to help them
No.
with all,
So if it wasn't for Dave Portnoy, we wouldn't have nearly as many pizza options as we do today.
He is my hero.
Right?
I mean, seriously, in pizza we trust.
Yeah. So if you're curious about like your local pizza, like how they rate, or if you want to rate it themselves, you just download the One Bite app and score it from 1 to 10. Just be honest, and then
Right.
other people, we'll see that and be like, oh, that place has got a 7.6. I got to go check that out.
You know what? I'm going to do that now because there is a great little pizza place, family owned in San Pedro, like in the downtown area, called Nico's Pizza. And they have great pizza. I mean,
what would you rate it?
I would rate, so I get whenever we do stuff down in that area, like event work and stuff, I'll usually get the pizzas for the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the meat lovers because, they're all carnivores there. And I would say I can down 3 to 4 slices easily, and I would give it a rating of 8.
8?
Yeah, it's good. Nico's Pizza, good place in San Pedro. Might have to make a special trip there just so you could try it, since you have crappy pizza where you live.
I mean, I just don't know about driving so far out for pizza.
Usually I'm the one who drives, so I think...
if you're driving, then...
Yeah. Then that's all different. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So just to give you an idea how he rates it, he only does cheese pizza.
So he doesn't do
No,
any
no,
of
no.
the like specialty pizzas
No,
or topping
because he wants to give everyone a fair shake. It's like,
so it's the sauce, it's the cheese, and the
crust.
Basically.
Yep,
Okay, yeah.
that's it. That's all he's gonna.
Okay, that's a fair way of doing a ranking. Yeah.
Because not everyone's got the same sausage
Right.
or pepperoni or bacon or whatever you got. So just cheese pizza. And he started in 2023 a annual One Bite Pizza Festival, and he invites all these top scoring pizzerias, like his favorites and like the top scores, and they all come together for this huge festival. And you can, as a patron, try all these pizzerias, and this is like just great exposure for a lot of these pizza places too.
Right.
So if you're somebody who you're not going to go out to New York necessarily to try that 8.7 rated pizza.
I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of New York pizza. I know that probably just like I'm going to get hate, but I'm not a fan of New York pizza. It's cardboard with some sort of sauce and a little bit of cheese on it, and I'm like,
well, that's why you gotta see what Dave rates stuff, because he's very critical. It's like he'll tell you like, oh, this is just for late night drunks, to soak up the booze. This is
I guess at that point I won't care if it's New York pizza or.
Oh no,
Yeah.
At that point, no, you just want something.
Yeah,
But
I like the fact that we have a variety of pizza here. One of the except for where you live, but I mean, one of the positives of SoCal is that at least we have a variety of pizza. You can get that Chicago style, you can get that New York style, and you can get really the California style, which is kind of an anything goes, and that's what I like.
Yeah, I don't know though. I feel like you want the real good stuff, you got to go to the source. Like,
Well, I'm not driving you to New York, so you can just give up on that idea.
tease. Another thing he had done was earlier in 2024, one of the places that Dave had reviewed, it burned down. This was in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and I'm not entirely sure why it burnt down. Maybe an electrical issue, maybe. It was an old building. It was an old oven. It was like a 100-year-old oven, I think.
Yeah.
So for the 2024 festival, all the proceeds, all of it, went to helping them rebuild
Wow.
their pizzeria. Yeah, that's nuts.
That's pretty cool.
But that's how important he felt that pizzeria was to the community,
Right.
and to, the pizza world in general. Right. And as of this recording, he still hasn't reopened, but they are still making pizzas at another place in Rutherford called Casano's Pizza. So I looked up.
It takes time to rebuild.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And I did check out their Instagram. That's how I found out that they're still making pizzas. And apparently it said that they'll ship it out anywhere.
Might be a little cold by the time it gets to California.
Whatever. So, yeah. I mean, if anyone wants to check out their pizza, check out the Instagram. It's Santillo's Pizza. So that's why I think Dave is a good guy doing good things for good people.
And now I'm going to go get pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your busy day. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe for more stories.
And as always, be good humans for F's sake.